All right, and we are live. Welcome back to another episode of Killer Queen Flight School. Today we are reviewing Dusk Map and specifically to how to have the best impact you can as Queen. And I'm excited to welcome Josh B here. Say hi.
Hello. Really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. This is so exciting. So we're going to be watching some of your games from ECC recently, right?
Yeah, yeah, a month ago or so now.
Nice. So for everyone watching, Josh and I were just chatting. We were just talking about like queen decision making on Dust Map and like where you should go, what you should do. Like especially, I think we were chatting a lot about Snail specifically, right? Like when to support Snail and how not to get caught supporting Snail.
Exactly. I think it's also like when you should be pushing objective versus when you should be doing something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I
I
think
find
we'll
that
pay a lot of
yeah,
attention to the Snail as we do the review. But definitely just looking at general queen stuff as we go.
perfect. I'm excited.
And we're exclusively watching Dust Map, so we'll be skipping the video around a lot after each map because I think we have like 5 sets here, and each one just has one Dust Map,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
yeah,
Not a lot of people pick Dusk. I think a lot of people pick Day and Night. Um,
yeah, definitely the
which is-
two most played maps by a lot. I feel like there's something about how much queens hate the Dust Triangle. It's like the queen picks the map, and she's always like, "I don't want to get stuck there."
I think that's true. It's definitely like the weakest queen map. So if the queen has the most power on the team or influence on the team or something, you
Yeah.
can see that happening.
Yeah, it's ultimately their joystick. Oh, we got somebody in the chat that says, I always pick Dusk. All right. A
Who
free
is that?
radical. I love it. All right, well, let's get started here. So you're Blue Queen, right? I have these sides correct?
That's right.
Wonderful. All right, let's get rolling and see what we have. So it's already an asynchronous opener.
Yep,
Um,
we do the asymmetric.
I
I love
like
it.
this. Yeah, asymmetric. I don't know why I always say asymmetric. Okay.
You're fine.
Always.
Yeah. Oh,
No, this is good. I like that you left. I like that you're getting the gates. Yeah, this is a good position for you.
yeah, I think all of this so far is good, but
Mm-hmm.
around here, like going for the fight on the warrior, I don't know.
Yeah.
Should I be tagging gates there, or should I be trying to help with the snail push? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Besides,
you're
I just do it
to
on the side.
me right now. I didn't like this like double back over here, but to me right now, like you acquired every single gate and snail is neutral. Like that's what queen should be doing. There is a super brief moment, something that I think because we're so gate directional, I
Yeah,
think you'll find interesting because queens were like tag gate, tag gate, but there's a columns moment that comes up. Oh, here, yeah. So take a look at this opportunity you have here that I really like,
yeah,
where you one of the things and you play like this all the time. I don't have to say it for you, but for anyone watching, one of the things that queens look to create a lot of times is situations where you have a 2-to-1 gate advantage and like warrior gate advantage, and you can maintain that advantage. So anymore, what I would look for in this position because what you're going to do is you're going to go wrap to left gate, and I think that's like super fair and like very very
yeah.
normal. But anymore, what I look for is I look to hold the mid wrap. Like imagine if in this
Yeah.
position
Totally.
you were like
I'm
here.
no, yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. This is a great move.
Mm-hmm.
Completely agreed.
That's something that I really like to look for.
Yeah, you mentioned it, but I actually don't typically think about like the 2 to 1. But now that you mentioned it, that's really smart.
Oh
Like if we
really?
have warrior advantage, yeah.
I feel like you intuitively play that way.
I definitely, yeah, I intuit it for sure.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like we always want to have one more gate than our opponent, but there's like two different modes, right? It's like you're chasing after the enemy queen, but like once you get that 2-to-1 gate advantage, a lot of times you can just turn around and maintain
yeah,
it, and then that's
yeah.
that's one of the ways. Something I started talking about more is like slowing the pace of the game down, and I feel like that's one of the strongest tools a queen has to slow the pace of the game down. Is just be like, okay, I'm gonna turn around, and now I'm a wall that you can't like go past, and I have two gates and you have one, and you have to make a bunch of things happen to gain an
Yeah,
advantage back.
force them to make all the moves and make the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay.
Um,
So that attempt at hitting abs, that like I think that's the fight I'm looking for next, right? Or should
yeah.
I be going to the still?
No, I think this is a good play. I mean, like you just like I assume you just thought you had the dive like right there.
Yeah, I mean I'm just trying to do something, right?
Yeah.
I think I could probably call him a little bit better, but
Yeah, like right
yeah,
here, you could have started like going left, but it's so baity, you know, it's like who knows.
yeah.
You could also be looking for the bump play right now. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's what Rob's looking for. We were looking for a lot of bump plays. I don't know how many we are gonna see.
But yeah, like right here is just unfortunate. I mean, you were down warriors,
I
and
needed
then
to go to the middle of the map. I shouldn't be tagging the speed gate there, I think.
I
Like
don't
the team needs
mind. I think there's just an inefficiency here. I don't mind this Speedgate tag. Like you might be correct, but once you tag it, like there's no reason not to go back through the middle of the map.
yeah, definitely.
I get that this Speed Warrior was here. Um,
I think I'm trying to call for my team to run berries and I'm like distracted or something.
yeah, that's totally fair. But yeah,
No,
I
I
think
think
that costs you a little bit
you're totally right.
because like even like it's hard to predict these things, but like if that was the situation and like you're here right now,
Yeah, huge.
I think abs is just falling rightwards much sooner. Because like in this situation, abs doesn't really have any options. But if you're right here, if abs just goes this way, like they know that they're like gonna get a little bit of clearance. Whereas like
Yeah,
moving right doesn't have a lot to offer here.
yeah.
Is this could be? Yeah, I think this is. I don't I don't know what to say about it, but I don't like this movement here, and I don't know why.
This going to the wrap like that.
Yeah, I think it's
Because I could have gone low. I could have just taken the lower wrap and it would have been way faster is why. Right?
yeah,
Bad routing.
yeah, and I think it's the doubling back on gates is something
Yeah.
where it's like I have that gate tagged. I don't need to go that way.
No, it's autopilot moves.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, you see a little
Animation.
space to try to get that up. I get that. I think I would have.
Okay.
This is interesting. So I feel like right here you start ceding a lot of space to form warriors. Like in this
Yeah.
moment, right? Your priority is getting speed stripes up.
Getting speed warriors up. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Good bump. Always trust Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm wasting. This is really bad. So I decide that we're going for berries, and if the speed warriors can just live, then we're fine.
Yeah.
So this was one of the first dust maps we played, and we were still like trying to figure it out. I think this plays terrible. I think I'm supposed to just keep tagging gates and just play the snail game. Or even if we're gonna run berries, just actually try to get a warrior up. Like run
Yeah.
berries with drone.
It's tough because like when you do this, the team like has to so heavily prioritize surviving.
Exactly, yeah.
And then like unfortunately both of them go down. But it's like that's the cost in a lot of those kind of gambits.
Oh,
Is
100%, yeah.
but I mean, this isn't a terrible position. Uh let's see what happens. Yeah, I mean it's tough because like you are getting some berries in.
And we are getting warriors up too, right?
Yeah,
Like
there you go. You get another
it's easy
warrior.
to reform eventually if they panic enough. But now it's up to this warrior to survive, right? While I'm stuck stopping snail
Yeah.
still.
And you get the
Now
kill, so
we got the second warrior. I mean, I
nice.
don't think that this was the right call though. I think that like we could have just kept playing snail game. And I think even when you're doing something like this, you eventually just swap with a warrior. The queen shouldn't stay there forever.
I think
Now we're wiped again, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big questions, I think I want to go back to that decision. I was wondering if that decision that I was like, I'm not sure about this, was going to be relevant. And I think it ended up, because, so like, at the point that we were just looking at, I think the number one question is like, how did we lose every game?
Yeah,
And I think whenever, like, there's a ton of potential answers to that, but whenever I see a queen with all the eggs and none of the gates, because like that's the number one way you lose the gates is you
yeah,
die
yeah,
and then
yeah.
they get two gates off of it. But I think like I have to wonder like when did they go away? Because like right now you have every gate. You've had every gate since open. You won
Yeah,
the opener rotation. And like when does that change? It changes right here. It changes at that moment we were talking about earlier when you decided
yeah.
I'm going to seed gates, I'm going to give them gates to get a form. But I think that looking back, like
It's wrong. Yeah,
if you were here right now, still in Blue Hive, like if you had just moved and if you had just stayed here and drawn Gold Queen even, then your warriors should be able to facilitate that form. Like you
yeah,
have a
definitely.
2 warrior to 1 warrior advantage at this gate, and if like obviously stripes can go assist, um but if skulls goes to assist, then this gate's wide open. But what
Yeah,
happens is because you seed middle and then seed left, now there's only one gate that needs to be controlled. And like I don't think that they're in this example, I don't think that their team like converges on that. I think that Skulls or is it Skull or it's Abs just gets a particularly good rise kill to
yeah,
um and then this is a good pickup. But like that's when you lost all the gates.
yeah, 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 yeah. You're right.
And you went
So,
neutral on warriors for that. So you lost 2 gates and were equal on warriors.
yeah, big disadvantage. So you're saying basically I can stay at mid and kind of essentially contest mid gate is
Mm-hmm.
the idea. Like
Yeah.
make sure the queen doesn't tag it for free and then keep doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's especially like right here, like she can get that from under you. But this is actually probably a good example of a situation where you're turning and you're pushing on the enemy queen to create a 2 to 1 gate advantage. You
Yeah,
have the
yeah, yeah,
side
exactly.
gates and she'll have middle. And I think it's tenuous. Like I think the tactic that you're gonna have to go clear up the gate is true, but Killer Queen is like a game of like exchanging time. Like we're always
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
make
yeah.
sure, yeah, you know it. And we're trying to make sure that like we use very little time to make them use a lot of time. And this is a good example of like where we could have stolen time from our opponent.
Absolutely. I find myself confused about like when to tag speed gates too.
Yeah, it's really yeah, I mean, we can take a look at it. It's tough.
We
Cuz
can
it's
look at it throughout the set maybe or
yeah, cuz it's
the
also
game.
like wind attack speed gates is also directly influenced by like at what frequency both teams are wanting to utilize speed gates.
Yeah.
Um, how many speed warriors or speed drones each team actively has up already, and also um, like how intensely your opponent is going to like if they do have speed warriors, like how good is that speed warrior at the dust triangle? Like all of those dramatically
True.
change how frequently you want to tag speed gates.
That makes sense to me. So yeah, like I was saying, I think the decision to go down here in the first place was pretty wrong. And to your point, I don't have gates because of the early decision. But
Yeah, it's tough
we could
because
have,
like the decision to go
yeah.
down here is like the reason you made that decision is in part informed by that you don't have gates, right?
No, exactly, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
do I do think something um I think about a lot. Like here to me, whenever I get a drone kill in the snail space on any map, that's the moment I'm like, never mind the whole like I stop snail game has changed for the next 6 seconds. Because like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you get out, like you're a queen, you can always get back into the dust tunnel. Like no one's gonna stop you from getting there. So like you have like this 5 second power play here where you got a drone kill and you can sneak out and tag middle and maybe even like put pressure on a clear or put pressure on these warriors or something, and then get right back
Yeah.
down there to kill the drone again.
Yeah. I think I'm typically looking for that. So as soon
Oh,
as
you
I
do.
kill the
You
drone,
do tag the
okay,
game.
thank you. Yeah. That's the idea, right? Use the time that you buy, go do the thing, and then leave.
Yeah, but
The problem is like
I would have come
checks
back up,
there
I
could
think.
stop me. Yeah, gone above is probably better.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was dangerous.
Yeah, and even here, like they're not. It's funny because I almost feel like you're effectively baiting that you're just gonna stay in the tunnel.
Yeah.
But if you like, if right here, like they're not guarding middle, and like if instead of looking for the snail right back, like if it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna pull the snail, and then right now you held down left and killed the stripes, you could get abs up.
Oh, for sure. The interesting thing about this is that like you have time to get people up. Like, look,
Mm-hmm.
you just kind of get up free warriors because they have to ledge with a bunch of pieces
Yeah.
while also trying to continue.
Yeah, I feel like the next layer to counter this is definitely like for them would be like more drone farming. Like they have a lot of speed warriors. They don't need to be like traditionally ledging. They can scrub the
Oh, for
drones.
sure. I think so.
I think that's a really underexplored part of the game still.
Yeah.
Especially when you have
I try
like
to do it
two
as warrior. It's really
speeds.
hard though.
It is really
It's so
hard.
hard.
It's really hard, especially to not like leak berries specifically. Like when an
When we go
enemy
back,
team is just trying to churn out a bunch of mill, it makes more sense. But
yeah, definitely. We go back and look at the left gate forms. I think I played this really wrong. I think we had two warriors here and I just mispositioned. I need to hold that column immediately, right? And
yeah,
that speed warrior.
it's more about it. I don't know the right word for them. I kind of call them lanes a lot of time. It's this
Yeah.
spot right here
Yeah.
is the choke point. And that's a really noticeable one on day map a lot. Like if you
Mhm.
imagine middle gate on day, like they always rise up like this way to like come and stop you as you rotate. And like these
Yeah.
choke points are really strong. Like if you just drip right there, like half the
Yeah, we get free
times
point.
like the warrior will kill themselves.
That's true.
But it is like guaranteed you get the form as long as you don't just mess up the inputs. That's a good chase down though.
Yeah,
I like that.
Learned that from Cody.
I like this speed gate, but I don't like the push to middle.
Yeah, I was going for just like dope kill here. It's.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think pushing left is better.
Yeah, I
We need to
think
get
you
back to
have
snow.
a pretty clear pathway to either a like a side gate form with someone. It doesn't look like you have the drones in the position. So yeah, I think if you were here right now, you'd be looking to like bop the snail right here
Yeah,
while you have speed drones.
definitely.
Yeah, I just think leaving these positions is really, really hard. You did get somebody up on the yeah, and it's a good break.
Yeah, you got to find the breaks, right? I'm just like trying to get to the right of Dylan here.
Okay.
It's difficult.
This is a really interesting moment that I want to talk about some micro decision making. So right now you have two options, right? Go to right
I need
gate
to be
and
getting the
try to get
warrior
the
up.
speed warrior up,
Yeah.
or deny snail. And do you know what I think is the number one deciding factor on which one of those you do right now?
What?
It's that snail is under speed gate.
Yeah, I can't do anything to it when it's under speed gate. That's true.
If snail was here or here,
It's fine.
go clear snail. But look, you're like, and then they're right back right. You didn't even stop it.
Yeah.
And now
That
you're
was
here
bad.
for so long.
Well, someone's getting up mid, so I kind of like
Yeah.
I'm on pure snail guard now, right?
Yeah.
But I need to get this form. It's
Yeah, and the warrior's there looking. But I think like if you killed the snail right now and your checkers is like, hey, I'm trying to form. I'd be like, yeah, you killed the snail rider.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
because they just hold you hostage, and I've started thinking about that on like every map a lot more, is like, do I have a vertical dive lane that I can clear the snail really reliably?
Yeah, I'm
And
looking at that for that on night constantly.
yeah, Knight's the perfect example of like, you mess with snail when it's leaving a ledge, or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
right before it goes under a ledge. But this is good.
Love
I
how
mean,
Melon
you've
plays run that.
recovered. You've got people in positions.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, we're still really far behind, right?
Yeah,
So
that's a good
we're
kill.
looking for play. Uh,
It's tough because like your berries aren't bad, and now you've got two warriors. Their snails are really far.
yeah, yeah, but it's
I think
past
yeah,
the
right
speed
right
gates.
works.
Looking for kills,
Yeah. Oh,
which I don't know. I think it's bad. I'm like trying to juke instead of trying to like play with the team.
yeah, I think kills are
Doing that
bad
stuff
here because their warriors are really inexpensive to get up.
Yeah,
Like if their
yeah,
warriors go down, they're just like right back up. Whereas like I think what a good example was is I think it's around no, it's earlier. Yeah, this situation with Stripes, like you look for this kill, and then Stripes is left hanging,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and so that's why Stripes goes down is because there's no overhead clearance,
yeah.
and it's like your warriors are much more expensive than theirs. I like this. I my instinct right here. Where is it? Right here is middle gate.
Ah, yeah. I don't like the speed warrior ledging that can come and pick me off, so I'm scared.
Yeah, that's
But
very fair.
I think mid might have been better because they wouldn't have gotten abs up.
Yeah, I think there's just like a little moment to sneak over there, but the problem is I think once the decision is so tight because Gold Queen once she goes there, it's like oh well let's just do right, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that's free. Nice. Oh, unfortunate.
I thought I
I,
was under the ledge.
I did like that kill though. Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. You thought you were gonna be scraping.
Yeah, I thought it was scraping under the ledge. I'm like looking at the other side of the map already,
That's
trying to
unfortunate.
figure out when to look at the wrap. So funny. Yeah, I mean, I think that those decisions all make perfect sense to me. There's a lot of not knowing when to go mid and when to go to the side, like when, and also not looking for the low wrap enough. I think like PTSD from getting triangled so much or something.
Yeah, I think that's very real. It's tough because like especially I think the triangle one is such an interesting point because it is like a double-edged sword. Like the one moment where I was like, "Ooh, you could have pushed." Where was it?
Right before
I think it was earlier,
here.
right? It was
Yeah,
kind of
it's around
early.
here.
Oh, it's like right around here. The tough thing is like if you were holding her, like you could get triangled, but she's definitely getting triangled. Like
Yeah,
Soren
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
that queen right there, like absolutely that queen is getting stuck down there for a frustratingly long period of time. So it is like
Yeah.
a weird double-edged sword. I think about it similar. It's very different because it's so dynamic in a way that this is not dynamic. But like when the enemy queen ends up in like her own hive on Dusk or not Dusk, day or night map, and you just decide to like pin them there, just like bump them into their own hive,
Yeah.
you're basically saying like I like in this game state that we're both removed from the map.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Dust map triangle is weird because you kind of have to say I like that both of us and our speed warriors are in this specific section of the map where we're trying to outplay each other. Which
Well,
is a little
no,
different.
absolutely. But what part of my big calculus on that is that the snail is moving in our direction, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we have objective advantage at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
want
have more warriors, you have objective advantage, and you have gate control. You have gate advantage. That's actually, I hadn't really thought about it either, but something that is really nice about if you hold this spot is that the only warrior gate that they have is the one that you've decided that your speed warrior is in control of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like Soren can triangle this queen away from the only gate they have, essentially giving them 0 warrior gates. And like they can use their 2 military pieces to go free that gate up, or like try to get the queen out this side, but then they're not stopping Snail.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Oh, that's really interesting. You want to do the next game?
Yeah, let's do it. Pinky promise.
I think so.
Oh, I closed the wrong thing. Can't close the map links. Sorry for the flashing lights, viewers. All right, let's see here. Okay, so this one is symmetrical.
We're gold.
That was scary. Yeah, you're on gold side now. This is interesting. So you go middle even though your warriors aren't trying to utilize it at all, just to like stop them. And it pays off big for you.
I can talk about the opener here.
Yeah.
Look at what just happened. Well, actually, just show the end state. Maybe just pause after
sure.
After the fight at mid. Look which warriors form and which don't.
Like here?
Well, after this. Like we're getting up at both side gates and they have nothing.
Yeah, this is really strong. Is that them at right or is that you at right? That's you at right. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So the idea of this opener is that we send 2 people through the wrap to bump at their gate. We get up 1 safe at ours, 1 safe at theirs, and I fight 1v3 mid.
Yeah, this makes sense to me.
And I just trust that I can win the 1v3 and not let anyone up.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you don't, it's not the end of the world.
It's fine. Yeah, we still get up at both sides. So
it's kind of like it's a lower risk, I think. Like you can just play with a little bit lower risk if you choose to. But it reminds me of like day map when vanillas get up on a middle gate and they just like bombard far gate and they're like, I'm gonna die trying to stop your speed drone.
No, exactly.
Oh, I really like this. I thought this is a really smart decision. I think a lot of queens get this kill here and they're like, I'm tagging right gate. It's the only gate that's not tagged. My job is to tag gates. And I love that instead you play the queen.
So I think I should be closer to the queen even.
Yeah.
I think that this weird what I keep doing, and I noticed this in another game later, is I'm like ledging when they have no berries in instead of facing queen like I think is optimal. I'm hesitating to try to kill abs there, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's
do you think that you don't have middle gate tag? What is this movement?
I don't know. I think that I'm just like I'm gonna find a route to right gate and also,
Gotcha.
I'm kind of around this. I think it's bad. I think you're right.
You think your thought process is you want to get to right gate?
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
But
maybe this is another moment where that like 2-to-1 gate advantage is a good point.
No, exactly. And we're so far up on warriors that like I just need to be on top of their queen.
Yeah.
I trust my warriors to hold right gate. It's fine.
Like just this position looks great to me.
Yeah, it is, right?
I would maintain so strong. This also works out fine, but they should get a pick. I don't know.
I'm picking berries.
I don't know why they haven't. Okay, they get it up. I was very confused. I was expecting them to commit to that gate form sooner. I think they just really wanted to make sure the drone didn't die. Oh, I thought you might get it. I was wondering what was going to happen there.
Yeah, I know. I want to die for the tip.
Nice. Okay.
Good trade.
Yeah, this is an interesting example of where like you're not sad that your warrior died. Like now she's stuck even lower away from gates.
Yeah, no, it's a really good trade for us.
They hold. Yeah, they do. Let's go.
Oh, I didn't think they. Yeah, so I didn't trust my warriors here. Or I should just be chasing the queen still.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this moment is like right here.
Yeah, this is game over.
But like
I need to just follow the queen. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I feel like you're looking at this and you're like, blue queen got past it. But this is like such a good example of how good of a warrior like Soren is. Like It's not. It's later than that. It's like right here.
Yeah.
I don't think my warrior has that in this position. Like that's a really far distance. I don't feel, but like of course they do.
Right, right, right. You trust them.
Yeah, and
This is
definitely.
one of the big
Oh, you go.
well, it's one of the mixed scene team things too, right? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
playing with people you don't play with much, or you're not really familiar with, and you just don't really know what they're gonna be able to get it. But it was just objectively right to go through the wrap there instead of going back toward mid.
Yeah, and then definitely stay at middle here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like trying to get the drone up, not thinking they can drone bump
I feel
one.
like you have a tendency to like want to be like always be moving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
I
don't
was noticing that too.
create like advantageous equilibriums a lot. Like
Yeah.
this is a good example where like you push into the queen and the game just ends. Like if she's stuck in this
Yeah, yeah,
tunnel
yeah.
and you're there, like it's over. Like they have to send all of their drones to try to bump you out, and you've got 3 warrior resources to handle that, and a snail moving into the net.
Yeah, I'm not capitalizing on the advantage, right? This is pretty good though.
Yeah, I like this. Nice. Yeah. Close it out.
Okay. Interesting though. Not looking to contain queens enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think is happening in both these games now. Third one?
Windy City.
Love team names.
Okay, so you're on gold again.
Yeah, we do a different opener because their queen lines up to open wrap.
Mm-hmm.
That was our decision. That was how we made the decision about where people were going.
I like it. Ooh, very
Okay.
good. I wonder if it's is it here? No, maybe.
I think going mid there was just better than tagging speed, maybe. But it's close. Speed gate tag's fine. I don't know.
Yeah,
If after I got the drone, I wanted the speed gate.
yeah. You're so close. Once this drone, like committing to that drone speed drone pincer is smart, and then you're right there. Like,
Yeah,
how are
yeah,
you not
yeah.
gonna get it?
Now I'm just chasing queen.
Mm-hmm.
I need to force
Yeah, this
somebody.
is good. Yeah, nice, good coverage.
Yeah, that's an easy way to like completely let the queen out there. If you go back, I think that was pretty good. Because usually what can happen is like the warrior gets bumped and
Mm-hmm.
then the queen gets out. I just like gave up the right column and hard committed to the left one.
Yeah, I think it's the right call, especially because you have stripes also covering the right column. Like
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
you get to choose whichever side you feel like is most impactful. Yeah, it's the same thing from the last one. I really like this. I really like this decision to not tag middle.
I do eventually, but
Yeah,
I think staying was yeah.
I
Don't
think
tag middle.
I mean,
The Warriors have it, right?
interestingly, like I think it's still better here. Like I think holding this left column is still the right
Oh,
call
definitely.
because the
Well, the
moment you
queen,
tag middle, look, they get somebody up. Like things get a
yeah,
little hard for your warrior that was pincering as they try to establish
yeah.
the opposite column from the one that they were used to holding.
No, you're definitely right. I'm playing too moving around too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not valuing the static positions enough. But yeah, the queen to try to form someone mid in that spot was gonna have to stay and like actually fight closer to the gate.
You get kills
Like,
right here a lot. I like these kills.
yeah, no, Cody taught me this, I swear.
Oh, really? That's so
Just
funny.
like look for the warriors as they go through the wrap like this, they get caught there a lot. Especially speed warriors.
Yeah.
Okay. This is fine.
Yeah, this is a good position.
Oh, bump. Oh,
Ooh. I love those little like stutter pincers. They like glue to
oh,
each other for a little bit.
yeah, yeah, it looks so cool. Okay, so again, don't tag mid. Stay on top of queen. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
this is good.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, because this is so like then eventually blue has to commit a fatal like a queen no, which is like she tags a gate she already has. You know, she flies right through it because she has to. Like
Yeah,
that's where you've corralled her to. But like
yeah.
there is this strategy of like, oh, we left that gate, but you know what we can do? We can eventually force the queen back over to that gate, and when we do that, I win it back.
Yeah, for sure. Other one?
So we're oh nice. So we're not like ceding any time, but we're still getting the gate.
Yeah.
Cool.
Uh,
I don't think there was too much to say there. It's a little
no, pretty
bit of
short.
the same though. The like maintain like a little bit of columns and a little bit of is that the winners
Round
finals
that
one?
was Windy City. No, the next one's the winner's finals one.
Oh okay.
Um, and yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I think my my intuition then is saying that like because it's the weakest queen map, bullying the queen is a lot stronger than I'm thinking it is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like I think you want to be bullying queen more on Dusk than on other maps, maybe.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Dusk. It's tough because it's more of a double edged sword on Dusk. But I feel like I mean the reality is like there's two maps that have vertical wraps, and those ones you can't bully queens as hard as you can on the two maps that don't have vertical wraps. Like vertical wraps just
Yeah.
make like military as a concerted strategy a lot harder.
Yes, that makes sense. And then day map is just day map. Like everyone plays it differently for the
Yeah.
map, so it's naturally columning the whole time. Oh,
Okay. Start off with an
yeah. So
early
we win
kill.
that opener. Yeah, yeah. So they have nothing. I should have gone to mid there.
I liked. I actually think this because you get this drone kill. Like, there's like
I missed the tag on the gate is the
yeah.
issue.
That's it. Because what you're looking to do is you're looking to tag left and then go to middle. But once you
Yeah,
missed the
exactly.
tag, I don't know what the right call is. You come back to secure your form. Right here, going to middle is a hard decision.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, I think I like that you go left. I'm confused why their queen didn't go to left gate, but your warrior's spawning, so like exactly kind of like that. I didn't expect the kill, but I was like, oh, they'll be able to slow blue queen's
yeah, yeah,
movement
yeah.
down, which will be
So
useful.
here I'm going between the wrap as the queen's in the middle, trying to meet her at side gates. I'm not worried about her tagging mid in these spots because it
Mm-hmm.
seems really risky for her.
Yeah, she's
So
on last life.
I'm just trying to meet in the wrap.
Yeah, this is a
And then the
great
berries
position.
I'm not really worried about.
No,
Yet.
I wouldn't be. I would just be trying to convert speed drones.
Yep. So here, this is what I was thinking about earlier when we were talking about the like over ledging.
Mm-hmm.
I could have just chased the queen instead of ledging that berry, right? Like if I just
Um,
immediately followed the queen here instead of stopping for abs,
yeah, I
I don't
think
get the
that's
form.
true. Especially since like, oh, I mean, barely missed it, but like Soren's there for it. Like
Yeah,
your warrior's there to ledge the berry.
yeah.
If they let that berry in, that like you shouldn't be doubling up on that chore.
Up that
These are good
column.
pincers. Yeah, it's a really good position. Yeah, good kill.
Yeah, really good
Yeah, this
play
is
there by
good.
Andy.
Yeah, I like everything here.
I like to use queen as bait in spots like that.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, I want this route, I want this route, I want this route, and you're dead. Like,
Okay, you're out. Okay. Yeah, not too much to say.
yeah. Win the opener, win the game. Um, losers finals. This is a long one. Well, I don't know
Okay,
if we're
this
gonna
is
get
like the
through it.
7 minute one.
Yeah, and the ending is horrible. It's tragic, but we'll see.
Okay. Okay, so you go middle.
I get bumped, so I can't stop their form at
Mm-hmm.
right.
It's
So
that's the playbook I've
that's like
ran
a
a
hard
lot.
counter here. Yeah,
Yeah, it's actually really interesting if I replay every moment of a 7 minute game. But like this bump, and then I think
so important.
it's right. Oh, it's right here when the warrior like doesn't lock the drone doesn't lock in immediately, and then you scrape for a second. Like
Yeah,
those are like the only two like inefficiencies, right? Like where you're not pure moving, but you add them
yeah,
together, And it's like why you don't stop the queen from getting to right gate.
No, exactly, exactly.
It's like wild sometimes how much like those milliseconds add up to whether or not a speed warrior forms or something.
Yeah. Well, I always want to stop these speed forms.
Is this what you're talking about? Like I feel like this is like kind of a queen as bait maneuver. It's like I'm gonna attack.
Oh, a
No, I'm
little
not.
bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I could have stayed high. I was going for the pop on the drone, but the timing was
I
off.
see. I see. That both makes sense.
Now they have like 3 speed warriors, and that's just hard. They have no gates, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
This
I
is
think I need to
okay.
be on top of Queen again.
I
Like,
think I think we should talk about Snail a little bit right here because I hear what you're saying, but I think that like I see what you're looking for with this snail, right? Like the moment this happens, I feel like you see potential kill on abs.
yep, 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 yep.
And I think it's really real. And I think that if Skulls had stayed low, this is like a really good pincer.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
would,
all like kind of fine.
yeah,
Right?
I would have wanted that pincer with my team.
This one, oh, with
This
abs
one
here,
right
yeah,
here,
yeah,
I
yeah.
would be looking for this. I would want that because like then they're down to one warrior. Like I would
And they have like
trade.
one gate. Yeah.
I would trade a gate to kill it.
What do you think about that play diving back toward mid? I think it's
Right,
just like not doing anything. Like this
right
whole thing,
here.
I go up. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think there's anything because like abs will just go left. I think if you're here, it's really strong.
yeah, yeah. Agreed. I think that's the right place to be.
If you're here, because then like maybe she wants to go under you, which like more or less is pretty safe, but then you're tagging and then you're following after.
Yeah, I'm forcing her to make the call, and if she wants to like hold left gate,
Yeah. But
or if she wants
instead
to.
going low gives them the gate.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're fighting to earn back the gate that we seeded.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. It's not good. It was fine though.
Yeah, this is good. You're in a good
Okay.
position. Almost got a queen kill. Tough position. Yeah.
Just wait for the out.
They take a
You're
little bit of time
overwhelming.
from you. Oh, I thought you were gonna get that kill. Oh, you did get the kill.
Yeah, no, I thought I was gonna get it too, right?
Feel like something
It's
happened. Does something happen with this berry?
no, the
No.
oh maybe
Do we want to slow it
it's
down? Do we
weird.
want to get really granular in our
It's okay.
7 minute game?
I mean, we can look.
I don't think so. I don't think anything happened with the
I don't think
berry.
so. I don't think so. Yeah, same spot.
Just
You got the
shooting
Warriors.
stars, passing each other in the night.
Speed tag.
I was more thinking. I feel like you could have gotten middle gate here. I know you're looking for something.
I should have tagged mid. Definitely.
I think you didn't want to get like I would have probably gone low on it here, but I can see not wanting to mess with stripes and
Yeah,
add
I
like there's a
think
lot of speed in the air.
I'm not watching it close enough. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm instead just like, hey, it's safe to go top, right?
That makes sense.
But if I'm watching the fight that's happening around left, like the left side of that, I can definitely just go.
Yeah, yeah. Just looking at more like the generalities of like there is a warrior like, rather than like their micro position.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really like position until I go to mid. This is actually still fine though.
Yeah,
Like we need to. I kind of want to get the snail back because then I feel like we have an advantage state basically.
that was good. I liked that a lot. Yeah. Oh,
Don't want
I
the
liked it.
speed gates.
I don't think you should tag the speed, but I like that you screened the queen's movement. I like that you played
Yeah,
triangle
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit. That's exactly how we were talking about. I was like, don't just let her wrap, you know. But I don't like the.
Yeah.
I would have stayed high.
No, staying high is the correct thing to do. Where's this person gonna form? Oh,
Nice. Yeah, you have a lot of speed here, which is really good. Yeah, I mean this is a great.
we went for.
I feel like
We
some.
decided 4 mil. Screw it.
Oh, did you? Oh, nice. I think
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. I think it's actually fine. And then we drop our vanilla.
Mm-hmm. Full mill is just like a direct, meaningful counter to like a boring 3-1 slow snail.
Oh,
Like if
absolutely.
one team is slowly trying to move snail and you get up 4 warriors, they just can't do that. Like it completely, they don't have a playbook for it. Like what? Our 3 warriors outplay your 4 warriors?
Yeah, they need to switch to snail push
Mm-hmm.
in a more like concrete way. Don't let the speed
But
drones form. Oh,
full mill is countered by speed split really
berries.
hard.
Wait. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Berries
Uh,
in general a little bit, but I think a 3-1 speed split is like really brutal for a full mill team because they don't have enough like warrior advantage. They have one more warrior than you, but you're not locked down anywhere, so you don't have to fight them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can just stay below your queen and be safe.
All right, doing the thing in the wrap, trying to
This,
follow to what
yeah,
gate
this is
you're gonna
great.
go to.
I like this a lot. Yeah, I think you're being really creative with the. I think a lot of queens right here would just go all the way to where Blue Skulls is. But you're like, Blue Skulls has that, so I'll guard this side. I like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get distracted by ledge again, I think.
Yeah, I think
'Cause I see through the wrap right now.
here you needed to be closing the distance.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, once she goes there, I would just be following after her. Because that's how they end up getting somebody up.
Yep. Interesting.
Ooh, almost kill.
Yeah.
Do get the warrior kill though.
We're way up on snail now too.
Mm-hmm.
And I want more
Yeah.
warriors.
Okay. This is the sneak through. So like, this is the opposite side of where you're doing the thing that we were talking about stopping. Like, imagine if Gold Queen was right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, Gold Queen for sure gets skulls up. I think they still do, but like, you almost would have been able to sneak in there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's that same movement. Ooh.
Trying to conserve eggs a bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like that extra egg right now is so huge.
I think I shouldn't have gone down to snail. I think I should have. I don't know. It's
Uh,
hard to say.
like here,
Yeah.
what I think you should have done is you should have J dived abs. I don't know whether or not you should have gone to snail. I don't know about that, but instead of you killing snail, I would J dive abs here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because what you can do, like one of the things, like you're not gonna kill abs, but like we want your abs to be in control of this zone.
Totally.
And if you
Totally.
J dive that, and then their abs goes to the other side of the bevel, and then your abs controls this side and can hold that bevel, and like you're forcing gold abs to have to dramatically outplay, like that's something I'll give a little bit of time to just get my player like a better position. But I think, yeah,
Yeah, I
like
like
abs
that.
just goes directly under and then ends up getting the kill.
Yep.
But if they had been over here, especially because
Yeah, they have their route. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
look at Skulls is also screening it. So like if right here you J dive and abs is here, Skulls is
Yeah,
here,
Abs
so
might just die.
they can't just go like this. Like that's what they
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
want to do, but they can't just do it.
That makes
I
sense.
I like that framework too, because like imagine like no one else is on the map. This is weird, but like if you J dive that and then abs goes over here and is gonna go around, and your abs holds low, and you can hold this spot. And that
Yeah,
2 to
super
1
strong snail.
configuration is like we're moving snail for sure. Well, like
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
imagine like these 4 warriors are all over here instead, and they're really far away. Like I like those configurations a lot. Um,
I'm like fine with this because we have all the gates,
yeah, I like
and then I just go out
the
whenever I need
bump
to.
there
Like,
for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
unfortunate,
Oh, the bump.
but
The bump kills so.
this pin's really good from it's Andy right on abs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like that pin a lot. That's one of my favorite things when a warrior. I'm surprised we get the kill there, but it's just like, yeah, I'll get me out. Thank you. The bump's unfortunate. Oh, it was Nikki. Never mind. The bump
greedy,
was
yeah.
pure skill and talent. It's the Chicago.
I mean,
way.
it was definitely good. I was looking for it. I just got like completely.
I was just playing because I said it was unfortunate, and then I was like, oh no, wait, that's my teammate. It's all skill. We wrote that's exactly how we wrote it up.
Oh yeah, constantly. I want snail back because I want to have snail pressure. I also want all the gates. I think what I'm doing is fine. I think I can go through the middle of the map, and
Yeah,
this is technically wrong.
I agree. Your warriors had created the space for it.
I
Yeah,
want to
you and
stop
your
this
warriors
storm.
definitely have like which is a mixed team, so it makes sense, but a lack of synergy when it comes to like when you're doing snail. Like I feel like
Yeah,
right at this moment, like they're going to snail, and you're like, okay, great, let's all go do snail together. Let's make sure snail moves, and then they're like, never mind, we're out of there.
yeah. We're gonna guard gates actually.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
I would
I
have
think I
found
was
that
yelling.
very confusing as the queen.
Okay, wait,
Okay,
we're
that's
way ahead
good.
now.
I like this. I like this a
All
lot.
right, that's the team to cover right.
This is really tough.
Oh, that's
That's
not good.
that's really tough.
We got broken.
Oh, that's very very good plays there.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like what I'd be looking for right here, I think this moment is when I tag right gate.
yeah. I thought that Abs still had the left column.
I think they do. Oh, they let it up. Yeah, my actual
It was.
thought would be
I
that
guess, but yeah, go ahead.
what I'm looking at is where is it? I also thought they had the left column, but that's why I tag right gate because right here, um,
Oh, I see.
if you go to this gate, checkers can fly through the middle of the map and come support this.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously you can always double back on your decisions. Like if we played it out and you were here and she started to come back, like you can just come back, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, but if she goes to left, she's gonna get held up here. Would be my thought is like Abs would be holding her up here, and you'd have right gate, and then you'd have every gate, and she'd be stressing
Yeah,
about
I
that.
think that's definitely right.
And then that's just unfortunate. It's tough because it's like it's a lot of different reads on like what your own teammate is gonna do. But I think that's what I would be looking for. Definitely tag right. Long time ago. Here.
I
Right here.
mean,
Right gate.
now it's good. Yeah,
The moment she leaves, it's like,
I was
okay,
buying time. I
you
was trying
get
to think.
yeah, that makes sense.
I got
Tough.
frustrated. Once.
You got one, you're gonna get a second?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Oh.
Uh,
Well yeah.
trade.
It's the same thing. That's
I,
good.
it bugs me when drones kick the berries.
Oh,
That one was
where did they do it?
that one wasn't avoidable, but like here,
Oh yeah.
technically a fraction slower hypothetically, but it's fine.
I mean there is I think part of it is like with I mean this is super micro, but like if I was doing like a team review where we were gonna play at a tournament again, if I
else
was
to jump and grab the berry.
talking about these drones, I'd be like, I want checkers to like bump stripes
Oh
because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
skulls is able to grab that berry and get a free form. And like
yeah,
that's
totally.
probably the maximalization of
Yeah,
this moment. But like there's no way for any team in
yeah,
the
we can.
moment, let alone a mixed team, to be able to lap that out. Oh, I
I
think
think we'll
definitely
tag.
tag mid. Yeah. Okay, you said the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like so much of this review has just been both of us saying like, "Oh, right gate, right gate, middle gate, middle gate."
Well, this actually worked out fine though.
It did, yeah.
Like, it hasn't mattered yet. It's
No.
about to.
Uh,
Oh, I like this. We're pushing snail. We have control. So there I decided to wrap instead of, or go through the mid instead of wrap. That was probably
well, you're held up
the
by this
strike.
speed warrior. This is tough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is actually, I mean, this is one of those weird examples where like this is kind of because of middle gate, and I know that feels like it
Yeah.
doesn't make any
No.
sense, but like,
Oh, it does. It does. It
yeah,
does.
yeah. Like if we have this gate here, then whenever we go low here doesn't need to happen, or like their
Right.
queen would be low and we'd be controlling this zone while they recover, and then that's what like that costs you
So
a lot
was
of
it?
you lost a lot
No,
of horizontal momentum going low and like getting screened out and doubling back a little bit.
yeah, yeah. But was it right to go through the mid to go try
I
to
think so.
contest
I
with
think
left?
I agree with it. Like the moment The moment I get here and Stripes is blocking me, I'm like, yeah, screw you, I'm gone.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But realistically, Stripes was already leaving, which is kind of interesting, right? Like I could just waste Stripes' time by
It's
staying there.
it's tough because like Stripes only gets to leave because you leave.
Yeah,
I
true.
feel like if you stayed, Stripes stays. But because you leave, Stripes leaves, which means your Skulls gets to follow after.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're kind of deciding that we would rather have both of the Speed Warriors here going to left gate around the same time and you arriving after, which
Yeah,
I think that's correct. Like a little bit of the timing doesn't work out in your favor. Oh, I think this is Snail.
yeah.
I think this is Kill Skulls
Big
time.
Ivan, Snail, tag the speed gate.
Yeah, I think this is big, especially like Stripes goes back in. I feel like it's a
Yeah,
big feeding frenzy down there.
agreed. I opt for the queen side.
Hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm just holding right.
Yeah, I would be assisting either Snail or Triangle is what I would look for
Yeah,
here.
agreed.
Like Soren's got this Triangle doing a job. Yeah.
Oh, it's soft famine, soft famine, soft famine.
Oh, it's soft famine. That
Yeah,
definitely
so I'm like
changes
kind of
things.
trying to watch the soft famine. Oh, that's not good. Oh, this is tragic.
No.
So if you look, it's like the gold and the blinking. I just totally missed the form. And
They
then
blink a little too slow.
brutal.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
there's not much to say.
It's so interesting though. Yeah, the soft famine approach. Yeah, you want to talk about soft famine actually? I haven't talked about Dusk soft famine in forever.
I do.
This is a bad example, but
I mean, the weird thing about this example is kind of like an example of where like did soft famine matter?
yeah,
And like
exactly.
I don't think it does. Like I think for your team, like you start playing soft famine here, like that's why you go to the middle, is what you were
Yeah,
saying. And
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
your team doesn't need a berry to win this game. Your team doesn't care about berries.
Well, their team needs to form, so it's like
Yeah.
if we pick off a warrior and we have control of this, like when do you want to go to control it, right?
Mm-hmm. But imagine like if right here you're diving on skulls.
Yeah,
Well, probably right here. Right here you're going
yeah,
to kill
right.
skulls. Like that's like I'm gonna win the game right now before any of you even get to a berry.
No, for sure.
Like I think you're playing the soft famine game correct. Like everything you're doing would make perfect sense if like either team was like two berries out or something. But you already like I guess
We
a
already
good
have such a
example
big
of it is like they can't use berries. Like
yeah.
right in this game state, there's barely enough berries on the map. Is there enough? There's six. Yeah, there's barely enough. No, they can't. There's 11 berries. Is there a berry counter on the stream somewhere?
I think there's 9 berries.
9 berries. So like they literally can't win off berries. Like if they got every
Yeah.
single berry in the hive, they would still not win on berries. And they don't have any
And
of the
so
gates, and their queens in
yeah,
triangle.
yeah. My theory is you want to control the berry pile so they can't get warriors up, but which is kind of like what happens, right? But you don't like we don't need to be that worried about the warrior forms, honestly.
But you've already.
Like we have
I think what I'm trying to say is you've already solved the warrior form problem by having every gate and their
yeah,
queen in triangle.
yeah,
Like if they had two drones running around with berries right now,
wouldn't
you
matter.
wouldn't be worried. You'd be like, okay, they've got a couple berries, but like we've got all the gates, we've got it locked down. Like, let's just get this thing in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm like hyper fixating on the berry.
Mm-hmm. Because like especially
Like
now that the berry is like loose, like imagine if instead of looking at this berry, you're
I'm just
going
pushing
in on the
snail.
skulls.
Yeah. No, I need to be on snail here. It's so straightforward.
And then it's
Then I
just
like
unfortunate. I mean, your team,
yeah, I agreed for a kill. And this death, I think it's gonna
yeah,
happen.
because your team actually checkers gets the solo kill. Austin
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it's big. We're way ahead.
So I'm looking for that pincer,
Even
but
after my
like
first death.
this is even this right here is a terrifying
We're
situation for them.
we're so far ahead, yeah.
Yeah, that speed warrior was part of it too. Like you don't see the warrior for sure, but that speed warrior forced you down.
No, it's a really good play by them.
Yeah, it was. That was
Just unfortunate.
unfortunate. Yeah, they did
Well,
great.
cool.
Is that all of our dust
Uh,
maps?
That's all of the ones we had. I could
Cool.
probably generate more, but that was great.
Yeah, this was fun. Yeah, I feel
Yeah, so
like
wait,
we saw some
how do
trends.
you yeah, what would you kind of would you sum this up?
I mean, I feel like um I was surprised, but I guess the like create advantageous equilibriums thing of like find ways that you can push back on the enemy queen and hold positions where you have a 2 gate advantage to 1 gate advantage. Um,
Yeah.
it looked like you did a really good job of that when you were actively creating pincers, like when the enemy queen died and you didn't tag a gate.
Yeah.
Um, but you weren't thinking about it too much, like when you had 2 gates and she just, or you had all the gates and she just tagged one and she's chasing you, that you could just like turn around and hold that position. Um, I think
Yeah, I
that's
think
one.
I get like overly scared of the Warriors, and I also like want to stay high probably too often in a lot of those spots.
Yeah.
There was actually, if we go back in that last game,
Yeah.
I think there were like many times when I could have just gone all in on snail. Like just screw
Yeah.
it, let's just push.
Why don't we?
Especially when we have warrior advantage. Like convert the gates, make the queen go tag the gates, don't get forms, and I'm just pushing snail.
Yeah, let's look at it like from here on, where snail gets like
Yeah.
halfway, because it spins the rest of this game like between halfway and speed gate. Like I think
Yeah.
right here was a time to look for it. You do go down there. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
good. Um,
We lost a warrior. We're up 2 warriors to 1.
yeah, I like the way you're playing right now.
But I swear sometimes you just like miss your tech. Just like find
Oh
yourself
yeah,
flubbing. Run into walls, you're like,
it
oops.
feels real. It's always like a bit sobering when you look back at a tournament that you placed really well in, and it's like, God, who's queening?
It's so hard to play perfectly, right?
Mhm.
It's so hard to play even like effectively.
Yeah, like I have some very meaningful tournaments where I'm just like, wow, I really just threw that whole situation. Oh, well, wait, I don't know. Why am I standing there? Why am I?
Yeah. But okay, so I'm trying to push snail here, but I should have stayed on the ceiling.
Yeah, I feel like
And
you're
let
pathing
absolute,
through
right?
still. I feel like you're trying to leave. Like here, I feel like you're like, I want to get out of here. And my instinct would
I
have been to like hold this spot and just create
yeah.
a zone of safety.
Yep.
I hate that I can't use my mouse for pointing without the toolbar popping up and then not being able to see the snail.
Oh. Yeah, that's annoying. OBS
Um,
issues.
yeah,
Here, push
like
snail.
yeah,
Right? I'm just off now here.
it's tough because
Well, I want to stop
it's
the
not
speed
just
form.
you, right? That was the one that we talked about earlier, where it was like
Yeah.
your warriors were doing it, then you came in, and then they left, so you left. And I just think like that's a good moment where I think a team can be like, because like your opponents are in
Again,
recovery,
right there.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
just
I think almost all of these times when I'm like swiping through snail, I could just stay.
yeah, I agree.
They're not because of stripes, but oh yeah.
Queen is just such an important part of like closeout, and I feel like to me like once snail gets to speed gate is when you start being able to be like, can we just win the game?
Yep.
Like that makes me think of like when you're 4 berries out and it's like, well, we only need 2 clears and we win. And it's like, we only need like
Yeah.
2 really good fights and we win on snail. or we only need to
No, that's a
box
good.
out the zone for like another 30 seconds or something.
Yeah. Like here, I could be pushing snail again instead of wrapping toward like going up toward mid,
Yeah, it's
which would.
tough because like you just have the one warrior,
Yeah, you always want to do it
and
from warrior advantage for sure, but
you
I don't know.
also, well, it's already soft famine. There's like, I think
Yeah.
one loose berry here, or no, it just got
Yeah,
used.
there's like 2 berries are being held.
Yeah, so it's tough where it's like you gotta get the berry to get your warriors back up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But now,
Yeah, here I think that's, yeah. This was the one we talked about before. This is
yep,
right here, skulls.
yep.
Even like when skulls is in the tunnel here, I'm still looking for it.
Oh, completely, yeah.
It's tough because abs is there. Like if you go right now, they're gonna right. Yeah, this is it. This is the moment at which, because I don't want to be tagging middle gate here. Like even if you were right
Right.
here, I'd be worried about tagging middle gate with a speed warrior and a queen above me. But
Yeah.
like once abs like pushed over the middle of the map and could no longer, like this configuration could no longer move on left for a form, that's when I think the pincer is the right call on snail.
Yep.
Okay, you do get the stop at middle actually. So
I thought I had time, it's one of those
the
things.
one I was like, I don't know if I would have go.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's, I mean, it's a good stop. It's a great stop. I think she gives you the space. I think it was the right call.
Yeah, yeah,
Once
yeah, exactly.
the queen's so far away that it's like, yeah, why not?
It's
Let me.
also risky rooting in stripes, but
It
it
is,
worked
yeah,
out. But here, as soon as I kind of get back here, like once they get the form here left, I can push snail.
yeah, yeah. That
Right
was a
here,
good snail
definitely.
push.
Yeah. This is really interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like what I'm not seeing
I get snail push.
this game is any point at which your team is leveraging your snail for warrior kills. Is going
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
we
We're
have
getting kind of
snail, so you have to stop us.
no, absolutely. We're not using the snail as bait. Like we did there, like at the very end.
Yeah,
But I think we also weren't doing it like in a coordinated way. We have like one snail push and like
yeah,
one warrior on snail
yeah.
instead of
You've had
more than that.
a pretty reliable like snail guard. Um, whenever Austin is up, I assume that was Austin's role
Yeah.
on Dusk. Notorious. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think there's like some moments, but I think it is a team call where it's like, let's just do snail. Get
Yeah,
snail as
yeah.
far as possible. Because otherwise you
I,
just end
I,
up trapped.
yeah, I definitely want to. I always let the team know. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this. Y'all, y'all can react to it. Know that they're gonna start surrounding me. Let's play some KQ. Okay, 2 gate, one over better than 1 gate. Equilibrium. Um, or snail push after. So would you say like when it gets to the speed gate? I for me it's kind of like when it gets past that little nub, is
Yeah,
when
it's
it's
this
really hard for them to
zone.
guard.
Yeah. It's once it's like I always think of the zones as like what positions you need to hold in order for snail
Yes.
to move. And so it's like it's kind of it's it's a little bit this notch because you can kind of control its zone, but it really is once the snail's out from underneath the tunnel. Where like this
Yep.
ledge becomes the number one ledge you have to control to move snail
Yes.
rather than
Yes. Yes.
this
Yes.
ledge.
No, that makes perfect sense. I think there's just so much power there if you put the queen,
Yeah.
especially if you have like multiple eggs and you're up on warriors. There's really that's what you've been looking for this whole time, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of the snail push is that you get to that position at the end.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Queen's
interesting.
really powerful. I'll try to find, there was a game a long time ago. I think I ended up losing it, but it's like a really interesting start where I went for like a really early snail push. And like me and my vanilla end up getting snail to speed gate like at open before
Oh,
they're able to
interesting.
displace. It's like really, and like we don't, it's not like they just like don't see it. Like it's a good match. But they went for like a two speed warrior open. And so all I had to do was screen out their one vanilla. And then once we did
Yeah.
that, like they had their one speed warrior they came over, and their one speed warrior wasn't gonna fly underneath me until they got their other speed warrior up. And so they were just like
Right.
so focused on like getting more and more mill that we were able to exploit that for snail. And I think that that's like, I guess basic. as I say it, I think what I'm realizing is that when your opponent is recovering, you can choose to use that recovery time to move objective.
Yeah,
Normally, we choose to use your opponent's recovery to create kill opportunities, creating really stressful, tense moments at gates that they're trying to recover out of.
mhm.
But we can instead use it to just move a ton of snail miles.
Yeah, you're trading time on the map essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find the game? I'm really curious to see it.
No, I don't think I'm gonna find
Oh,
it.
oh,
I'll try to find it later. I'll do some research, and if I can find it, I'll send it to you. It's probably in
all
like
right.
a old team chat or Discord or something where I was like, I thought this was interesting.
We can watch a Dusk map that I didn't play in the last game of Grand Finals.
Yeah, let's do it.
One of the Grand Finals games. Let me see if I can
Sounds
find a
fun.
Dusk one.
Yeah, we've only been
Here's
here for
one.
like a little over an hour.
Yeah.
I'd be down to watch a little bit more,
I
but
think
I
we
could
were shooting for
also
like an half maybe.
go and
I'll
play
throw
more
it on the
Digi
bottom.
one. Um, are you dropping it in
Yeah, I
the
threw it in the
spreadsheet?
link.
Cool.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, I think this is actually probably a good idea. Like taking the same themes we're talking about, but like decentralizing
Yep.
it from specifically your play.
What do you think about the berry start?
I really anymore. I really don't think that like a 2/2 berry is particularly good.
Yeah, neither
Particularly
do I.
bad when your teammate misses one of the berries, but
It happens.
yeah, it happens
Yeah,
for
this
sure.
seems like a really rough start to me. But
Yeah.
you got your speed warrior up, so it's like not that bad. And queen can immediately clear.
I just don't
Just
think
like
it's guaranteeable that they get their speed warrior up.
no, I don't think so either.
Like where is the speed warrior gets up out of middle? Like
Out of left.
um, oh, we're talking about yeah,
Blue, yeah, yeah.
blue. Yeah, I
I
mean
think
it's a different strokes for different folks, but like if I'm gold queen, I dip under blue queen here
yeah.
and deny left.
I look too. I think it makes a lot of
It's
sense.
like
But
that dive under is not easy to
it's really
get the
you have to
kill
hard
on.
read it.
Yeah,
You can't react. But you can set it up so that you have the ability to react if you like change up
totally.
momentum and stuff.
Yeah, and if you're like
Um,
thinking about it, also, have you ever looked at? Do you know how the queen's wings stop flapping when she's not tapping the button when she's on the ceiling? You ever look for this
oh
visual cue?
no, I do not look for that, but that's interesting.
Some queens will stop tapping before they dive from a ceiling because they're
Uh,
like preempting the dive, and you can like see the visual cue where they stop flapping and like know that they're gonna go for a dive under.
that's so
I think
interesting.
I have a clip that I can send of you later of where
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I think a
Oh,
lot of people would look at me kill the enemy queen and be like, we were it was from 35. We were doing a review and my team was like, whoa, how did you hard read that? And I was like, no, she stopped flapping. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? And I
interesting.
was like, oh yeah, you're not queen. Yeah, no, they stopped the wings. Oh, so
That's
this
really
is
interesting.
okay. This is a perfect example of exactly what we were just talking about, but with blue queen. So like
Yeah.
right here, this is something I think we noticed you do one time on this side of the map, where it's like you
Mhm.
kill the drone, and now she's killing the drone. But if blue queen instead just scrapes right here,
Yeah,
they're in a really good. I don't know if they're trying to pull it back or if they're just trying to kill drones. I don't think they're not trying to pull it back, but I do think that that position would have been like a really like if there was a blue drone in this area, like holding this spot
for
facilitates that
sure.
snail push really hard. It's not relevant to the game, but it is relevant to similar
No,
configurations.
it's worth talking about. Yeah. Oh,
Ooh, okay.
Um, so how far down is blue right now? Not very? Oh, yeah.
Really, really far down now. Um,
Oh,
but
that's so tragic.
right here, I don't know. This seems like a pretty neutral game state.
Oh, that's
Like that,
crazy. That's insane.
there's two really terrible things that happen. One of them is the queen death, which is of course like a death knell for the like
And not getting the berry in,
advantage.
yeah.
Not getting the berry in is bad, but the worst thing is that the speed drone dies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
I actually think that like here, one of the biggest strengths that blue team has is that they have a speed drone.
Yeah, agreed.
Like that speed drone just like has the ability to like pull the snail back so quickly. I actually think that that should be something they like. If I was blue, I like the run, but with that speed drone, I would be looking to pull back snail.
I agree. I think the other benefit is like if you're pulling back snail, you can get up mid really easily
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes. They could be looking to get up right or left right now instead of running that berry. I don't know. The berry's also fine.
The berry is very
It's the
fine.
death. It's really sad.
Yeah, but that's kind of
Um,
like part of it, right? Is like whenever you choose to do a clear, like you choose to go for this against three ledge guards,
yeah,
like I think this is a really like this looks like a really reliable, good framework for blue. Like I think what happens is really unfortunate. I think they're playing really well. I don't think this is like a foolhardy thing. I think this is good.
no.
Um, but like anytime you're like, yeah, me and one warrior are gonna go clear for our drones against three warriors, you probably need to have some appreciation that there's a pretty high level of risk in that, even if you execute really perfectly.
No, for sure. I mean, arguably in that position, they get the J dive and they're just way up. So
Yeah,
it's like it's a good clear attempt.
yeah, I agree.
And then you're reading that like you don't need to hit the J because no warrior's gonna be there, and
Yep.
you try to get a warrior kill. But
Yeah, I think they're.
snail.
I think what I'm touching
Great.
on is like this idea of like eliminating like uh failure points, like eliminating circumstances that could result in something really bad happening.
Yes. I love
Even,
that dive under, by the way.
yeah, that was
So
really
good.
good. Very, very good.
It's really hard to react to that one too.
I agree. Yeah, like
Uh-oh.
now, I mean, if it wasn't for a couple of like really unfortunate for blue and really good kills for gold, like blue would be in a really strong position here. Well, their warriors go
Yeah.
down, but whenever it was, I was talking
Yeah,
when it
yeah, yeah.
was, where was it? I think
Blue
I was
speed
talking
drone.
here. Yeah, like this looks fine to me. That
Yeah.
warrior dies. It's 2-1. You've got a speed drone. You've got access to a speed gate. You're 5 berries out.
We got snail control.
Yeah, do they run
Oh,
this
yeah.
berry too? Yeah, they run that berry. Like this is a good position. If that warrior was still
It
alive,
was.
a
Yeah,
very good
exactly,
position.
exactly.
I'd want that form for sure.
Yeah, I think the form instead of the berry run is what I'm looking for also.
Mm-hmm.
But uh where is Skull's gonna get up?
Left gate.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
This is where the berries are really strong, right? Like you're forcing the ledge, which means they don't have someone in the fight most of the time.
Do you
They're
want to
almost down a player.
do you want to know maybe a lukewarm take for you, but something that I think a lot of people would consider is quite hot?
Please, yeah.
Is that I think what I would have liked to have seen from gold, like even as soon as like here, yeah, here, yeah, because like how long does snail get here? Yeah, like here, I
Yeah.
think snail's good. This is great. Keep moving that snail. Big fan. But once blue gets up 2 warriors, right, and especially when gold loses that 1 warrior, my idea is you want to start moving some berries.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like right here, I think like you've got 3 warriors. Instead of reclaiming the snail space and forcing blue team onto the rest of the map, you contain the snail space and you
Yeah.
keep your opponent in the snail space.
Yeah, I like that, especially if they're gonna go. Um, Depending on how many warriors blue has too. Like if blue only has one drone, you don't have the ledge anymore if they're pushing snail.
Because I actually
Oh,
kind of want to look at its 436. Where does it stop? It stops there. 436.27. Yeah, 436.27 is when that sack happens. Yeah. So
oh,
for a minute and a half of this game, gold doesn't move its objective in a positive direction at any point for a minute and a half
yeah,
of how long of a game? Of a 3.5 minute game.
yeah, it's really interesting.
And if like instead of like you look at this whole blue snail pullback, like the gold team can't devote many resources to it because blue team has like the potential to win on berries. And so they're just
Yep.
kind of containing, they're not focusing on it. Drone dies. I do think that there's an opportunity here for John Mark to hit the J dive on abs instead of queen and
Yeah,
push the
yeah, yeah.
lockout.
That's a good call.
Um,
You the queen's on last. You just want to hunt. I get
yeah,
it.
but I'm looking
That's what I
at
want to
like
do.
I want to look at talk to Nikki about it later. But like, because like the game plan, right, is that Nick is just gonna like keep moving the snail in, and then I look at this and I'm like, okay, it was 430. What did I say? 436.27. Yeah, 436.27. Nick gets up, drone goes over there, dies,
Nothing. Yeah,
and
you can't do
then
anything there.
now he's here, grabs that berry, go down, dies. And I think this is like really normal. Like this is dies. Like this is
Yeah,
really
yeah, you're gonna keep dying over and over again.
this is like a way that people use their drones. It's very like historically normal. And then now there's like a little bit of drone disrupt, which is fine.
Drone disrupt's really good. It prevented the speed form, I think.
I just like really wonder. It might have. It's hard to say.
I think that just
Probably.
that first so important.
Yeah, the first one. The first one. Yeah, I agree. No, I think that was really good. I just like wonder what because it was 436.27, so it's been 40 seconds of gold team not having the resources to facilitate the snail push
Yeah,
and sacrificing their drone main over and over and over again. And I just like
running
how
berries
many
makes so much
berries can
sense.
you run in 40 seconds?
I mean, this is the theory on the Bob Strat thing, right? You push the snail far enough that they have to put a bunch of resources on snail, and now you get to run free berries.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then even if one of your warriors dies, it's fine because now you have another berry runner,
Yeah.
and they get speed, and they run speed berries, and then they can switch to speed snail, or right, and you kind of flex it up a bit.
Yeah.
But
If gold had half hive right now
yeah,
and snail was
they're
in the
just
exact same position,
yeah, it's basically a win. But I don't know. I think the way they played it is also like reasonable.
yeah, no, it's I feel like this is very classic KQ. It's how
Yes.
like every Bumble Bash winning team played KQ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like to run berries though, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very interested. I think warriors have just gotten so stable. Like they're so good at just being alive and being very efficient with their lives, and like defense has gotten
Oh,
so much more effective
yeah.
that I think like games, like really talented teams can make games last a very long time. They can slow games down. Um, and like win on every facet without like risking their queen in any way.
Yeah, I definitely see that too. I have a spicy question for you.
Yeah.
It's not related to Killer Queen, really. So this tournament. We're watching grand finals, but there was no reset.
Oh, you're trying to get me on the record on my own platform
No, you
about
don't have to. You
this?
don't have to. You don't have to. I'm sorry.
What is your question? What is your question?
I mean, what do you think about the no reset rule?
What do I think about like not having a reset in grand finals? Just like in general, that
Yeah,
concept.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I I don't prefer it. Like I would rather there be a reset. Um, but I don't think I'm particularly like intense or dogmatic about that. Like
yeah,
I think I think more tournaments doing more different things is really interesting to me, and not just for like the sake of doing something different, but like I think there's a world in which like to me like that decision is going to make the event by nature be a little bit like less intense. Like I think people see a rule set like that ahead of time and are like, oh, like okay, like yeah, we're just trying to get the tournament over a little quicker. You know, is that's like
yeah,
that's at
yeah,
least that
yeah.
would be my perception is like, oh, we're just trying to end it a little quicker. It feels really similar to when teams do like a best of five grand finals or tournaments do that. And they're just like,
Yeah.
look, we're pressed for time. Like, no one's trying to watch the same two teams play for 2 hours. Like, let's just get this on the road. I would talk to somebody who said something about it that was like, uh, it's really common for that to be the case in like other team games. I don't watch a lot of esports, but I think they were talking about like Valorant or CS:GO maybe. I think
Okay.
is
Yeah.
no reset. Like that's common for other team games, but it's not common for fighting games, which
Right. Right.
informs a lot of our culture. It feels like. Um. So
I think you're right. Yeah, I come from like a Smash background, so I always feel like if you're doing double elim, it kind of
mm-hmm.
just makes sense. But also, I don't care much. Like, I don't think it matters too much. And I'm also very big in the camp of like, let's try more stuff. Let's I like letting TOs kind of figure this kind of stuff out
Yeah, I do too.
and try things and take the blame, credit, whatever, right? Like they just make get to
Yeah.
make the call because they're running the thing.
Yeah, I think there was with this tournament. I'd heard some complaints about just like transparency of like when people knew that that would be the case or something.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I don't know much of the details, and I'm not criticizing anybody with that. I don't really know what happened, but I do think that like we're very much a community that has a long history and culture and like set norms, and I think when you deviate from it, you definitely kind of want to scream from the rooftop, "Hey, we're doing this! Like this is why, and we're doing it this way, and you gotta like if you're coming, know that that's happening, or else you just end up with
yeah,
broken
yeah, yeah.
people." Especially for a
I
hobby
agree.
that like people do
You're
spend
paying much money to come out too.
hundreds of
It
dollars to go to a city.
no, for sure. I respect that. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I just thought it would
Yeah,
be funny
me
to ask.
too.
Um, yeah, well, thanks for
That
doing
was
this.
my
I really appreciate
diplomatic.
it.
I think I
Yeah,
did a great job. I had a
no, that was a
very
great answer.
measured diplomatic take, and hopefully no one can be mad at me afterward. That's my goal is that no one can be mad at
Oh yeah, like the opposite of my old goals. But
me. Mine too. Mine too.
yeah, yeah, we're growing. We're growing. We're new people.
We've changed. We've
We're doing
learned
our
so
best
much
out
about
here.
ourselves.
All
Our
because of
hair looks
KQ,
better
right?
now.
That's true. Yeah. You credit like KQ with personal growth for yourself? I definitely do for
Oh
myself.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean like Killer Queen's so interesting because it gives you like a community of people that you learn so much from. Um, but also like competition, like striving at something and just like the willpower it takes to like learn a skill or like multiple skills and compete in something. Like all of that is um like gives you like skills and character. I think that are hard to develop elsewhere.
Yeah, definitely. especially because it's like a team game and you're in a on a team and in a community and trying to do like interact with all of these people. You need to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, like I'm way better at explaining concepts than I was before I started playing. I mean, it's also I've been playing Killer Queen for like 8 years, so I would like really hope that I'm better at things. But like I think it's helped me learn like how to disseminate information and like
Yeah.
to be more empathetic to like what other people understand. That's always something I found really difficult is like, and I'll even like just be honest with that when someone's like, hey, can you explain something to me? And I'm like, okay, I can, but like I have no clue what you know, so I'm just gonna explain the whole thing. And like if something is like patronizingly simple, like please understand that that's not where it's coming from. It's just like I
Yeah.
genuinely don't know what you know, and like I don't want to assume you know something and then act like you do, and then like if I had said it, it would have been really helpful. Um, so I'm just gonna run through
One
the
of the
whole
things,
thing.
no, that makes perfect sense. One of the things that I tried to do when I was like starting to mentor people is just immediately ask like, so how are you thinking about this? Like let's see where your baseline is and then we can kind of start there. But
Yeah, that's
there's
smart.
also like there's like frameworks you want to try to explain, right? You're like, so there's this concept of a pincer, and you need to make sure that that's what you're really looking for.
Yeah,
Um,
that was. I don't know if you have you ever read the like macro and micro strategy write ups I did in the Discord.
yeah, I did.
That was like I feel like the culmination of like learning how to be extremely granular and like present
Mm,
something for someone who knows like nothing about what you're like you even said like the pincer thing, and it's like in that I was like teams endeavor to do pincers like that works because of bump stun, and here's an example, and it's like so
yeah,
simplistic that any player that's been playing for like a year, like less than a year, like a month is like, why is this being explained? But it's like I wanted
it's like
the write up
sure,
to
right?
be
Yeah.
comprehensive for anybody. Like I want a parent of a player to be able to read it and be like,
Oh, so
okay,
that's what
I
they're
get
doing.
it, I get it.
Yeah. I like all the like chess analogies for that, trying to explain to someone who like kind of understands games, but maybe not, team games or anything like that.
Yeah,
You can kind of
chess
just
is
talk
very
about the pieces
useful.
on the map. I have a question for you that's completely off the wall.
What?
So, okay, this is KQ related though. So, I've been having some conversations with people lately about like, you're playing with a group of random people on the cab and someone starts to like do something that's frustrating you. So, how do you think that like how do you think about that situation? Like how do you calm yourself down or make sure that like you stop getting frustrated with the person you're playing with
Are you talking
or
about playing
handle
with
that?
like regulars or like new people? What's the
Call it like regulars at like a league
mm,
night or something, right? It's like you didn't pick the team. It's not like a tournament. You're gonna
yeah.
you're gonna play with them all the time because like you are in the community with them, but
And
you're
like
disagreeing.
frustrating gameplay, not like behavioral.
Yeah. Gameplay.
Um I feel like I've really struggled with that. I actually take a lot of inspiration from Dan Barron when it comes to that
Yeah.
because Dan has this
Oh my God,
particular
right.
outlook that is like, well, I'm just going to work on like whatever I can work on.
Yeah.
And so like especially when players like aren't doing what they're supposed to do, like they're going like nobody's covering ledge or like um you're the only warrior up and there's multiple people trying to run berries or something like that. It's just being like really goofy with it.
Yeah.
Like Dan's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a great opportunity to like push the limits of how impactful I can be. Like actually if
Oh,
other
interesting.
people were doing things, I wouldn't be able to push how much I can get done. So it's like he'll just try to like kill as many drones as possible while denying gates and doing defense and surviving. It's just like, how
Yeah.
much can I do? And I think that's really good. I think there might be a little bit more freedom there for a speed warrior than a queen. Um, it, it's really hard sometimes because like I don't really like just like going all out as queen and just like I feel like what happens a lot of times locally can be like I'm beating up on the other queen, but like their whole team's beating up on like my warriors. Um, Especially if like we mismatch drafts or something like that. It's like my team's a little weaker or something, and it doesn't make good games. It makes like bad games that are really like because like if we win because I kill the enemy queen 3 times, like my team doesn't go like wow we did it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
phew thanks. But then like if I die 3 times, like that also like doesn't feel like what do we do next time team. It's like I don't know, like I just should have killed them instead of dying, you know, like it makes these like really weird lopsided games that I don't like.
Yeah, so I guess in that situation, like you're queening and you don't really feel like you want to go all out, but you're trying to like get what you can out of the experience. Like, how do you think about that?
Yeah, I think I've tried to take like lessons from Dan and be like, well, what can I work on? And like one
Yeah.
of those is even like when the enemy team is just romping you, and it's like, you know, it can feel bad when you're just there for like your weekly play day, and it's like, okay, like we're just gonna spend the whole time in lockout. Um, but like also like something I've talked about with my tournament teams is being like, especially like when I warrior, we'll talk about like, oh, you know what we should do? Let's get like together and we'll just, you know, like we'll only need like 4, maybe 5 people, and we can just have like one team run lockout against whatever queen we want to hone, like whatever queen's trying to
Yeah.
get better at recovery. And so like in those moments, I go, oh, here it is. Here's the opportunity. Like this is
Lockout
exactly
practice.
when I get to
You did it.
practice recovery.
Yeah.
Handed to me on a silver platter. Everyone, really good players trying really hard to kill me, and I get to try to not die. And it's like, sure, it's not like a fair matchup, and sure, I'm frustrated that like I tagged left gate while saying left, 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 and someone didn't go to that gate. um, but it's like if it was a tournament and my teammate made a mistake like that, I would still want to win the game. You know, like your
Yeah,
teammates are gonna
absolutely.
do things you don't agree with, and you're still gonna want to win that game. So like that's a good time to practice. Like also like you're practicing like mental durability. You know,
No,
like if
absolutely.
if you have a
Absolutely.
little meltdown because someone like doesn't go to the gate that you're talking about because they like didn't hear you because it's loud, and you're just like, well, you
Mhm.
should have heard me, which I've definitely done before. Um,
No,
it's
yeah.
like, okay, sure, dude, but like they didn't, and like is your drone not hearing you? Like, is that mistake worth a queen death? You only get 3 of those. You only get 3 queen deaths, and then you lose the game. Are you really going to give up one of them because your drone didn't hear you?
Sometimes. Yeah, I
Sometimes,
totally agree.
sometimes, but like, yeah, I think that's how I
I
think about it.
totally agree. Yeah, yeah. I always try to think of it as like you can have an idea as a team of what you're trying to do, and like sometimes people aren't going to execute right. Sometimes they're going to forget. Sometimes something's going to happen. But at the end of the day, like they're the ones tapping their own button, and so like you can't be in control of their sprite. So you need to just like trust that it's going to work out.
Yep,
You know, like
completely agree.
rely on your team. You kind of have to. Well, thanks so much for meeting.
Yeah, this was super fun. Thanks for the thoughtful questions.
Oh, yeah. Do you want one more?
You have another. Did you come prepared with these?
I wrote them in the doc. I don't know. I was just
You've
thinking
had
about these things
these. You had these written up. You've been thinking about these for
for years.
years.
For years. Okay, so
Oh, I do see
here's the
them.
last one. Is there any like particular kind of emotional state that you feel you play better in? I ask because at ECC, there's like a big rap beef thing going on, right? But
Hmm.
Kendrick had just dropped his verse in this Like That record. And so I was just listening to that every single time I got off the cab, just like on repeat. And it's a very like angry diss track kind of vibe. Um, Sometimes I feel like if I'm like kind of riled up and a little bit like, let's go, let's go, let's kill everyone, then
Yeah,
that can make me play better. But is there any kind of emotional state that you feel you play best in?
this is a really good question actually because I have a very well thought out answer for it because I've uh it's changed really dramatically. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I've been on estrogen for like a year and a half now, and it like I mean fundamentally like feels like it changed my brain chemistry. Like I just think about things differently. I engage with situations differently.
That's
Um,
so interesting.
especially like I always really struggle with anger, and like almost immediately it was like a mental reprieve from that. I always say I'm like my brain was like meant to run on estrogen. It just works so much better.
Wow.
But then part of it was like tournament time came around, and I started talking to my teammates about this around 35 because in the lead up to it, because I was like, hey, like the tricks aren't working. Like the way that I would get like in the zone and be hyper focused, um, like wasn't working. It used to be like I used to be able to do this thing where I would just like look at the screen and I could like before a game's like a match started, I would just like
Yeah.
look at the screen and like imagine the opener, and I would just get like my adrenaline pumping, and it would just like that rush of endorphins would just like completely get me in the zone, and I would just be ready to go.
Oh, that's
Um
so interesting.
and even like I felt like I turned like when things would go bad, I would be able to like be angry about it in a constructive like in a way that I was like, okay, like now I'm gonna go fuck them up
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
that happened. And then like I just feel so much calmer, more serene that like I can't really do either of those things. Um and so I like had to like rediscover how I get in the zone, like rediscover like how I like decide to win matches, because that's like really how I feel. That is like the way that I think about it and feel about it is like I'm like choosing to win this game. There's like this moment where I'm just like, okay, like buckle down and
I
do it.
totally, I
Um,
totally resonate with that. It doesn't matter. Like sometimes you're just completely wiped. You have one egg to their two. The game's supposed to be over, but you're like, no, absolutely not. I
mm-hmm.
refuse. And it just works sometimes. It doesn't really. I'll even like yell it at my team, like we're winning this game.
Oh
Just like
yeah,
this
yeah,
feel of
absolutely.
anger, right? I know exactly what you're talking about. But so now you're serene, and so how are you managing that?
Yeah, I mean it's so different. Like I think like even like I still do have like this ritualistic dynamic with the cabinet. I feel like this like right before the match, like touching it, but like just place
Oh
my
yeah,
hand on it and then like getting the zone and thinking about it. But it's a lot less like hype. Like if anything at KQ35, you can kind of see me do it on cam sometimes where I like touch the cab and then I like rub my hands a little bit and I think I had like a couple mantras I was saying, like some things that I was mumbling to myself. Um you can kind of see that, and it's like like it was almost like I was like communing with the cab. It felt a lot more like it felt a lot less physical, a lot less like, yeah, let's go do it, and a lot more like we're here. This is it. Like in the same way that like I guess like a good way to put it is like especially at Logan when it comes to grand finals and I step up and it's like this is the home cab. Like it used to be like this is the home cab. Like this is our cab. Like we win on our cab. And at
yeah,
35 I was like this is our cab. Like this is our cab. I win games on this cabinet every single week.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just got to
yeah.
win a few more games today. And it's like just like a fundamentally different way of looking at it.
The different energy.
Very different, but feels so similar. Same cabinet, looking at it, feeling in like feeling something from the machine. But yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to like channel calm a lot more recently. Like, let's focus on playing patiently. Let's focus on just starting the game, doing our opener, executing the thing we all said we were going to execute on. Like, this is a thing that we're coming together to do. This is what I want to. This is how I like want to embody that instead of like I must win, you know.
Yep, I completely agree.
But that energy also helps sometimes, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's
Well, thanks
tough.
for answering that. I know it's a kind of personal question.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a nice question. I appreciate you asking. I mean, it was funny. I was like, oh, I actually had very long conversations about this for a couple months last year. um, yeah,
Oh, you ready to end? Go
yeah. It
good
seems like
night.
it's time. Oh, Jess said something sweet to you
Aw.
after what you just said, where you're like, I'm trying to work on being calm. Jess was like, it shows, Josh. It's very sweet. Yeah, I think we can wrap up here. I'm glad
Thank
this
you.
was useful.
Yeah, this was really useful and really fun. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I had a good time. I hope there's been some people in the chat. Um, not a ton of like specific stuff, but it seems like people were enjoying the content. So hopefully it's useful for other people. I felt like it's always nice. Like we were like going over some stuff, and I always like that point at which I'm thinking about something and describing something, and then I go like, "Oh, you know what it really is." And I feel like I did that a couple times today, where I was like, as I'm explaining how I think the game works, I'm also learning how I actually think the game works. Like, uh,
Yeah,
you
I
make
find this.
your subconscious conscious is how I think about it a lot of the time.
Yeah, like you operate so much in the game on intuition, and as
Mm-hmm.
soon as you're forced to like look at it and explain it, you're like, oh, actually, the reason I did that is this, but I can see how that's wrong now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found myself like that a lot. So,
Yeah.
thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of
I'm looking
course.
forward to
We should
seeing
do
you at the
this
next
more.
tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll see you
Yeah.
soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.